I have an interesting one as well, which you'll find
Yep.
a bit maybe confusing. So when I was studying, there was this one guy, this class I went into, and this one guy was really good. And I don't know how good he was, just because it's my first time doing it. So, someone can seem really talented at something to you if you know absolutely nothing. But he already had a job working for a bank in software development and I think in security as well. And like he knew everything. It was so pointless because he had done that. He had done that like when he was 15, 16.
This killed
And
me.
I asked, well, what are you doing here?
This killed me. Yeah.
Seriously, it was like, what are you doing here? You're extremely talented. You have 3 years experience working for a massive company. You lead a team. He led a team of software engineers, and he said, well, to get to the next stage, they require that you have formal education. And I just found that I was like, that seems so. I'm not bashing university.
That's not their fault.
In many cases, getting that baseline, like university, you get your baseline experience. You're finding out sort of what you like, and you're trying many different things. But this guy was just light years ahead of this, and they've kind of made him go through this path that is pointless, and he's had to spend. Actually, I'm not sure if it was a scholarship or whatever it was,
he got
but
something out of
it
it
just seemed ridiculous.
ROI, like if you could learn that faster somewhere else in 1 month. And yeah, maybe it's social. Maybe if it's
maybe
social,
socially,
like the culture and the attitude towards university. I have a massive problem with it. University on its own, it's not really like where I'd put my focus, because it's kind of a byproduct. If you change the attitude and everything, you would, you'd improve universities. But it's so big that won't happen. It's just too big. And that's the problem when things get too big. They lose their power, because the power is always in the small touches and the specificity. I love that example. It's very poignant. It sums up a lot of today's world. The other thing that's crazy to me is I see a lot of people, same story you had, but the person freely chooses to go. So they've already demonstrated the competency, and they freely choose to go do a degree. And again, like the degree in the right context, absolutely fine. Like, and even if it doesn't make sense to me, if someone still wants to go to university, I mean, ultimately up to you. Like, cool. You could be doing more things in the world somewhere else, I'm pretty sure, but that's your choice. Like, okay, if you're not interested, that's actually really important. But, and again, I feel like people feel like they need to go, or they want to like learn and they want to like upgrade their knowledge, and they go there even though they've already demonstrated the competency. To me, it's kind of crazy. It's almost like, I don't know. I'm trying to think like the best example that contextualizes just how crazy I think that behavior is. And it's kind of like Richard Branson going to like study how to launch Virgin the airline. Like now. But just watching someone else teach the class. Like there's a lot of situations where that happens. So yeah, the misalignment is pretty big. The actionables I take away from this are like, one, the more specific and narrow you can get about what you want to achieve, I think the better. Two, because of the design of those systems, I don't really think that the better. I think we're very unlikely to like change those systems to better produce the sort of people we need in the world. Like the more creative people are the least catered for. The people who are most likely to do innovation are the least catered for. I have much more faith in the things on the periphery. A lot of them partner with schools and universities, which is great. but they are not the school or university themselves. And that's why I work in the alternative education space myself, because that's where I think attention goes. So, acknowledge things like that. They're going to become more popular. And I think some of the other takeaways, crystal clear. The other third thing I'd probably say is don't, like Scott's chapter in 18 and Lost, I don't think you need to go into, with the rate of change things go through, unless it's just being crystal clear since you were young that you want a doctor, a psychologist, an engineer, or something that requires a university-based accreditation. Don't think you need to go into it with this, like, I'm going to finish this degree at all costs mentality. I think you can be way more open-minded than that. People are suckers for, like, seeing things through. Like, you don't really half watch a sitcom episode, right? You don't like open a packet of chips and go halfway normally. So you can be a bit of a sucker for just seeing things through for the sake of it, which is not necessarily really the most worthwhile thing to do. So those are some of the actionables for me.